And good afternoon. Welcome to day number 7 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Glad to have you with us. Again, brought to you by Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, also by Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport, also Bracken Paving, Cherokee Barbershop. Those folks are in, and we're glad they are. We're getting ready to add some more, and that's even more exciting. So we appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you today via sports. There's a lot going on around the country. A lot's going on here local, too. The obvious would be the snow has impacted the postseason tournament play. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Guests coming up later on the show today. We got our buddy Richard from Vito's. He's going to be doing the quiz show at the bottom. They are playing for another one. And up here on the Bracken Asphalt Maintenance Quiz Show scoreboard, 2, both from WA. 2 correct winners. And we'll try for the number 3 today. We'll do that right around 1:30. Dillon Weigger, young man who went from Sullivan South, is going from Sullivan South to be the new quarterback at East Tennessee State. He's going to join us by phone here in just a few minutes. Caught him in between going out and sled riding and shoveling the driveway as they are out of school again today in the county. Also later on to the show, Doug Fritz, outstanding sports writer for the Johnson City Press. Lots going on with basketball being put on hold last night and maybe tonight too with the roads such as they are. And so we'll talk all about that, and it's going to really kind of put a hardship on some of the local teams, the way the thing's starting to stack up now. But the TSSAA came out and made a big change statewide. We'll tell you about that coming up here in just a second. Also going to hear from Tony Stewart. Again, Tony getting ready to crank up and try and win the Daytona 500. He's never won the Daytona 500. He's won 4 times at Daytona, all the summer races. He's never won at Daytona. He's finished runner-up a couple of times, and so he's going to try and do that, obviously, this year. We'll hear from him.
Good old Smoke.
Old Smoke, that's your guy.
That's my guy.
That's your dude. And so we'll find out. We'll hear a little bit from Smoke coming up here in a little while. Also, Chase Elliott. Man, what a charm life this guy's led. Of course, his daddy, you know all about him. Wild Bill from Dawsonville, and the outstanding career he had, just got put into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Chase Elliott living a charmed life. We'll hear from him a little bit later on the show. Jimmy Johnson, 4th career front row start up on the either on the pole or on the front row. The 4th time there's been a front row sweep for Hendrick Motorsports. We'll find out, hear about that from Jimmy coming up here in a little while. Also, Steve O'Donnell. This guy was, well, as of Sunday afternoon, he was liked in the pits by some and not liked in the pits by others. He's the Chief Racing Development Officer for NASCAR and Executive Vice President, and he defends and explains the knockout format of Daytona, which...
Nah, he can explain it all he wants.
By the way, Horace is here with us. Good afternoon, Horace. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Explain all he wants. It ain't going to work.
Nah, that don't matter. I don't like it.
No, you don't like it. And so others who don't like it either, and in fact, I've heard a couple of folks that saw the show and heard the show yesterday said they do like it and we're nuts. So it creates excitement. So those are some of the folks going to hear from today. Again, Tony Stewart, Chase Elliott, Jimmy Johnson, Steve O'Donnell from NASCAR. On the local scene, Dillon Weigger, the South quarterback who just signed to play football at East Tennessee State, along with Doug Fritz from the Johnson City Press, and maybe some others, but I know for sure those are locked in, ready to go. So that's what's happening. Let's start with basketball. Again, things got pushed back from last night to tonight because of the wintry weather here in the region. So today they got quadruple?
Quadruple.
Quadruple.
4 is quad.
Thank you. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Quattro header. There you go. 1AA. It's going to be at the Sullivan East Dyer Dome tonight. You've got the guys at 6:30 and 8 o'clock. We'll back up and give you the AA, which will be 6:30 and 8 AA tournament. Sullivan East, Unicoi County guys at 6:30. The gentlemen will play at 8 o'clock tonight. Also, you have, let's see, actually it's a typo. Let's go over here. Again, compliments of our buddy Doug Fritz and the Johnson City Press. Got to give them accurate credit for the stuff they have in their paper and the information. So they're going to try and play 4 games. Unicoi County will play Happy Valley at 3:30 for third place for the girls. That'll be followed by Unicoi County and East for the boys' third place game. Girls championship tonight, 6:30. Elizabethton going up against Sullivan East. The boys championship between Elizabethton and Sullivan South. All that's tonight. You've been out and about. You think the roads are okay to get fans in and out of Sullivan East High School, which is way out in the county? You think it's going to happen tonight? They're going to postpone it till tomorrow.
It depends on how the county roads are looking. I mean, here locally, the main roads they're wet. They've been treated. Now, as it gets dark, it could freeze over again. We got more colder weather coming in, so
Got snow tomorrow.
Snow tomorrow.
Yeah, 1 to 3 inches of snow they're calling for tomorrow. And then what I hear, Thursday's going to be.
Saturday, too.
Saturday as well?
I think some stuff coming in Saturday.
It's beginning to look a lot.
No.
No, we passed that. It's beginning to look like spring. Think spring, right? That's what I am anyway. The 1AA tournament at Snyder Gym in Gray at Daniel Boone High School today. You've got a 4-game set going on there. 5:30. Let's see. You got 5:30. The boys game, third place, University High in North Green. Championship, South Green and Hampton. That'll be at 8:30 tonight. Then you have a third place game. Let's see. The girls playing today. I should say the championship today will go at 4 o'clock. The third place girls game, Cloudland and North Green, and the girls championship at 7 o'clock tonight, South Green and Hampton. So let's go back chronologically and give those to you. Cloudland, North Green at 4 o'clock, third place the girls. 5:30, third place the boys, University High and North Green. Championship for the ladies at 7 o'clock, South Green's Lady Rebels and Hampton at 7. And then at 8:30 tonight, the South Green and Hampton boys play for the single A championship. All that at Daniel Boone High School at Snyder Gym. All that again with an asterisk because of the weather. So the polls are out this week too. Let's run down those very quickly for you. The high school basketball polls. And we're going to get into the Kurt Busch story, which is continuing to evolve as we speak, coming out of Daytona. And, high school polls this week. This is compliments of the Kingsport Times News. AAA boys, Oak Ridge, the number 1 team in the state. Crockett gets into the top 10 at number 10 this week for John Good's team. AA, CPA, the number 1 team in the state. Single A is Union City, the Hampton Bulldogs from our region at number 5 in the state. Love watching the Bulldogs. We saw them down at the Hardee's Classic.
Yeah, they're a tough team.
Those guys can play. I mean, they're gritty. They can play the game. Girls polls, AAA, these are the final polls. Of course, this tournament starts around the state. Blackman at number 1 in AAA. AA, the number 1 team in the state. Lady Cyclones, the defending state champs from Elizabethton, number 1 in AA. Number 1 single A team is Middleton, with the South Green Lady Rebels, we said, playing later on today, weather permitting. They are currently 6th in the state in girls single A basketball. So good things happening there in the hoops, and we hope they can get those in and play for later on today at Sullivan East for the AA tournament and the Bobby Snyder Gym at Daniel Boone High School for the single A tournament. All right, big news out of NASCAR. Kurt Busch was ordered to stay away from the X, being evaluated for problems related to anger. There you go. Judge's order, which is good for a year, says Busch cannot buy or possess firearms or ammunition, must be evaluated for mental health problems related to anger control and impulse control. All right. It also orders him to stay. Now, this is what I don't get. What's this young lady's name? Driscoll? Patricia Driscoll. Orders him to stay 100 yards away from her except for at NASCAR races and related events where closer proximity is required.
In other words, she wants to come up and have her picture taken.
I guess. For Busch to perform his duties as a driver or sponsored athlete, it's going to be okay. But it orders him to stay away 100 yards away from her except for at NASCAR races. So if she comes up, he wins the race, comes up and gives him a hug, what's he do? I mean, I don't think she will, but
she's pushing his buttons if she does.
Well, I've got a picture in one of the local papers where he's already got him a new girl and got him a brand new.
So she may approach him.
Maybe. Busch's attorney, Rusty Harden, released a statement Monday saying he was deeply disappointed and intends to appeal the decision. Of course, the other part of the story says the family court hearing included sensational testimony in which Busch said he believes Driscoll is a trained assassin who could take him down at any moment if he tried to hurt her.
Good grief.
Busch's motorhome driver also testified that Driscoll told him she was a trained assassin for the U.S. government. Now, we've already talked about this. At some point, why hasn't somebody come forth from the U.S. government and said, timeout, this lady's a nutcase, or timeout, this lady is licensed?
Well, if this was a criminal prosecution,
yes, sir,
the judge would have already set that down the line, and she would be evaluated. I mean, this is a civil matter. I think the options are a little bit more they're tougher. Okay. It's harder to send her down the road to get her evaluated.
All right.
So, but, yeah, I think she needs to be checked out.
Now, she runs I didn't know this, she runs a small Washington, D.C.-based defense consulting firm. Is president of the Armed Forces Foundation, a nonprofit for veterans, says claims that she is a mercenary and a hired killer are ludicrous.
Yeah.
She suggested that they stem from a fictional movie script that she had worked on, which Bush proofread for her in the trailer at one point. And their RV said, "Honey, can you read this?" "Yeah, baby, I will." And so he read it. As a result, she said that's where he drums up this. She's a trained. So, I mean, it just reeks with.
Boy. He needs to mind his P's and Q's, though. I'm telling you. I know he's got a temper, a lot like Smoke. But if he gets a little excited and has to go back before a judge for a domestic issue, then the ball game changes.
Yeah. Police submitted the results of their investigation more than a month ago in Delaware to the Delaware Attorney General's office, which has yet to decide whether to prosecute Bush. Bush also putting out a statement. The racing team said they're taking the allegations seriously, waiting a decision by the Attorney General's office on possible criminal charges before deciding what, if any, action to take. Bush, 36, has denied the assault allegations. They are planning to have him in the car starting tomorrow for practice for the Daytona 500. Question is, you're the owner. Of course, you're Smoke, Stewart Haas Racing. Gene Haas has stood beside him. Tony Stewart stood beside him. Do you put him in the car? Do you do a wait and see? Do you say, let's wait? I mean, what if they get him in the car, get him practice, and all of a sudden between now and Sunday, the Attorney General's office in Delaware rules and says, timeout, he's out, we got problems, red flags. Then what do? You got the car set up for Kurt Busch, and they did say they had a contingency plan. They did say that. But do you just stop the process? Do you get the clear bill of health?
I don't think you can. I think you've got to go forward as though nothing ever happened.
All right.
And then if and when that time comes, then you address it. Because if you do the what ifs, you second guess yourself, and you can run into trouble. So just keep going forward.
Keep going forward. Proceed, as they say. Hey, make sure you like us on Facebook, by the way, at facebook.com, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Love to hear from you and say, we like what you're doing. Just love to hear from you. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Also, Horace, we are podcasting. That is your domain. Tell me about that.
We're podcasting. We're going to send it up the line, and right now we're on Stitcher. So if you want to download the Stitcher app to your smartphone, type in Tom Taylor Sports Show when you go to search, and it'll pop up. And our podcasts, each day's show, we hope to have up by the end of the day. So you can go back and listen to it again, or if you don't get the chance to listen to us now, spread the word. You can go back and pick it up later and listen to it at your leisure.
There you go.
And we hope to be on iTunes. So we're working on that. So iTunes and Stitcher for sure.
Yep, and we do want to say thanks to Kingsport Times News. Again, our buddy Pat Kenny now there putting it in the sports log every day. It says the Tom Taylor Sports Show at 1 o'clock on livestream.com, which is where we are. And so we appreciate that. But, again, make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coming up later in the show, we'll check in with Smoke, Tony Stewart. That's your guy, right?
Yeah.
He'd be your man. Not real successful in the Daytona 500. I will have to say that. He's won pretty strong in the summer race at Daytona, but the 500, the Great American Race, not so much. Here's a trivia question for you to ponder. All right? This is just going to be good. All right. Here's the trivia question, Horst, for you to ponder. When was the last time, or who or when, let's rephrase that. What was the – no, it'll be too easy. When or who was the last one to win the Daytona 500 not driving a Ford or a Chevy? When was it or who it was? Either way, I'll give you points either way. You don't have to give it, just kind of roll around your brain. When or who was the last person to drive a car in victory lane at Daytona the 500 that was not a Ford or a Chevy? So it was in the 2000 decade, by the way. So There you go. We'll take a quick break. We'll talk to Tony Stewart coming up here in a little while. Chase Elliott as well, Jimmy Johnson. Coming up next, we'll check in with Dillon Weigger, young man who led Sullivan South to a banner season and has signed to play football at East Tennessee State. Ran into him over the weekend, and he said, man, I love talking on your show. And he is, without question, jacked up about being a part of the blue and gold for Carl Torbush and the East Tennessee State Buccaneer football team. He joins us coming up next. Again, we thank you for being with us on this Tuesday, Feb 17, as you are watching the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home?
Oh, heck no. Or that you could get coverage for identity theft through your homeowner's insurance.
And that your valuables can be covered by home insurance even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thank you for being with us again on this Tuesday, Feb 17. Do want to remind you, we mentioned NASCAR before we go to our first guest today. Sprint Cup practice tomorrow at 2 and 3:15, and again at noon on Thursday. So everybody kind of quiet today on the track at Daytona, but crank it up tomorrow. Sprint Cup practice at 2 and 3:15 tomorrow afternoon. We'll switch gears, talk a little college football, and I tell you what, I'm a big, big fan of this young man. I've been around him for 4 years, and he is a class act. Dillon Weigger. Moving on from Sullivan South to play football at East Tennessee State University. And good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Tom?
Just fine, sir. I appreciate you. And I've told you to your face, I've told your parents, I've told the folks at South at the football banquet, this guy's not just a quarterback, he's a leader. And that was never more evident than the Elizabethton and Greenville game, when you just kind of put the team on your shoulders and carried them to victory. And that's what leaders do, right?
I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you.
And that's what you do, right? You just said, hey, in the Elizabethton game, we're going to win this game. In the Greenville game, late in the ball game, you threw out INT, and you told me later on the coach's show, you said, I want one more chance. I don't want the season end this way at home in front of the fans, and so I want one more chance. Defense got you the ball back, and the rest is history, right?
That's right. I was able to come back in there and redeem myself, and we were able to escape that game. It was an awesome memory to make it Sullivan South.
You were as much sought after. I know a lot of folks may not know this, but academically, you were going to maybe an Ivy League school to maybe play a little football, but primarily concentrate on grades and on your academic side of things. And yet East Tennessee State came calling. And tell me how that changed from maybe going out of the area to another school to ending up at East Tennessee State University.
Well, yeah, you're right. I had a couple different interests and had the whole spectrum covered from D1 all the way to some D3 schools. And it came down to, this fall I narrowed it down to a few places and scheduled some visits and kept talking to the coaches and figured out that what I liked the most and what felt the most comfortable to me was just right over there in Johnson City. And the major that I'm going to study over there was a pre-med. You can't beat it. And for the opportunity to be around here and maybe have a job around here is something I look forward to one day.
So long after football's over, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I'm not 100% certain yet, but I feel like I might be in the medical field as a doctor. I've looked at also the dental field, maybe as a orthodontist or some kind of dental doctor. But, there's still a possibility that engineering is calling my name. So I think these next 4 years in college will be, hopefully show me in that direction.
Talk to Dillon Weigger again from Sullivan South, moving on to play football at East Tennessee State. Now, some of the naysayers would say, Dillon, East Tennessee State's a new program. It's been untapped. It's a newbie. Why don't you go to a more established program? Why didn't you go to someplace where already had a system in place? Why did you choose East Tennessee State? And you said,
well, for one, I think that the coaches that are all the coaches over there, not only Coach Torvich and Coach O'Kane, because those guys are awesome, but all the way around the board, the strength coaches they've got over there, everything I think in that program is exciting, and the potential that we have right now to start something that's awesome over there is huge, because There are other places that are established already, but I don't think that they bring the excitement and the potential that ETSU football does. And I think that one of the things that really drew me into it was the players that we were getting, because there's some really good recruits that have came in this class, not only this class, but the class before mine. And so it's an exciting time, and I think come September, people will see that.
Yeah, a lot of folks forgot that, too. They had a recruiting class a year ago that's been sitting there waiting in the wings. Of course, this year you all signed, this year's class signed back earlier in the month. So I guess what struck me is some of the hosses. They got some hogs coming in, guys that need to protect you. I know some of the naysayers have said, gosh, this first year their line's going to be unchallenged, or not unchallenged,
untested.
But untested, thank you. And so he's going to snap and run almost all the time because the offensive line's untested. But looking on paper, Dillon Weigger, there's some horses going to be up front to protect the quarterbacks.
Absolutely. The frame is there, too, because they're bringing in some guys that are 6'4", 6'5", and 300 or more right now. And those guys are already big, and they've got the body. But what they're going to do when they get on campus is work for the strength coach, who I think is unmatched anywhere. I went and talked to a lot of different places and programs, and I talked to strength coaches. And from what I've heard and seen from everybody over there, Coach Johnson is the real deal as far as strength coaches go. So he's going to get these guys in the top shape to be an offensive lineman.
Talking to Dillon Weigger again. One of your teammates is already over there, Tommy Morris, who graduated early from Sullivan South, enrolled in school, so he's there now, getting ready to go through spring practice and all the workouts. What are you allowed to do? You're still a senior at South. You don't graduate till later in the year. So what are you allowed to do? Do they have you on a workout program? What's going on right now at Dillon Weigger for Buck football?
Well, for me, I've still been working out on my own, and the program they have is coming. I'm going to be able to do their workout routine, but I'm going to have to use my own stuff. So, I won't be able to do anything with their equipment or their facilities until I'm actually enrolled in a class there, which hopefully will be in July sometime. But I've been able to get with a bunch of guys over there and go throw some football on the weekends in Knoxville, which is entirely on our own. We go down there to a place called Johnny Long's Training Academy, and we have about 60 or 70 guys from the Knoxville area that we meet up with and just kind of have a big 7-on-7 tournament, and it's a lot of fun and a lot of really good work for us.
So these are guys you'll actually be thrown to once you put on the pads for state. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Wow. You can't put a dollar amount on that experience. You're getting to learn these guys' pass routes and how they run their patterns and so on and so forth. So that's nothing but a win-win. I would assume Coach Torbush is very excited about that, is he not? I'm
sure they are. I think that the players have been, hitting at them that we've been getting a lot of work done, and they've told them hopefully that they like how I throw the ball. And so, come July when I'm able to show up, hopefully he'll see that and see that we've been putting the work in. Obviously, you're not the only.
We're talking to Dillon Weigger from Sullivan South. Of course, there's been a lot of hoopla about you, and I'm maybe one of your biggest fans in your corner beside your mom and dad. But there are other quarterbacks on the roster, so this is not an automatic hand the ball to Dillon. You're going to have to earn playing time at ETSU. Is that correct?
Absolutely. There's several quarterbacks over there right now, and a lot of them, all of them are good athletes, and then there's 3 or 4 of them that throw great football too. So that's up to me to come in ready to work, and they told me the starting job is there for the taking, but that's there for anybody. So I'm going to have to earn it if I want to start this fall, and that's something I'm looking forward to do, but it's not going to be an easy task. A lot of excitement. You mentioned earlier in our visit here, again, they had scrimmages in Bristol, and of course in Johnson City and at Kingsport, had good crowds, and I think there's a buzz in the community about this football program, and I think in large part because guys like you and Tommy Morris and some of the youngsters from Dobbins Minute and some of the guys from other schools locally have signed to play football there, and I think that's creating a lot of interest. A lot of fannies going to be in the seats supporting this team because you got local kids on the football team. I think that's a huge thing, a huge part of this program coming back is there are people from this area that are going to be a part of it. And, the fans that got to watch us in high school are going to be able to go over there and watch us at the college level and hopefully see us succeed. And there are several players that are in the running right now for starting jobs, I'm sure. There's 4 or 5 guys from DB, and there's guys from everywhere, Tennessee High, Science Hill, Elizabethton, and I think a couple guys from South are going to make a big difference too, hopefully, this fall. Before I let you go, when I first got a hold of you today, you said, man, this is going to be good because I've been out working all day. This will be good sitting and talk on the phone. What's Papa Bear and Mama Bear had you doing today? Well, Papa Bear headed off to work with my brother into Eastman at about 7 o'clock this morning. So I got up and figured I'd get some work done around here. I've been shoveling the driveway and helping Mom around the house with some laundry. So, everybody's pulling their weight today. That's part of it.
So what you rather do laundry or shovel the driveway?
Sell the driveway for sure.
That's awesome.
Kill two birds with one stone there. You get a workout and you get the driveway cleared.
There you go. You're an awesome young man. I'm so excited to be able to call you a friend, and you're awesome, and we're looking forward to big things. We'll check back with you a little bit later on in the spring and see how things are going, all right?
All right, sounds good, Tom. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, class act right there. Dillon Weigger, the Sullivan South quarterback, broke numerous school records, and now moving on to play football at East Tennessee State. Guy's well-versed, too. He is, first time I ever interviewed him as a sophomore, I thought, holy smokes, this guy's got poise.
Oh, he carried himself real well. That was great.
Oh, yeah, he is awesome. They are lucky, and I mean that sincerely, lucky to get this kid on the football team. He's not only a great kid, but he's a leader. And I'm going to brag on him now because those two football games, the Elizabethan game and the Greenville game, the Elizabethan game for the conference championship, I mean, you can go back and look at the stats. He carried that team literally, rushing the football. He just tucked it and said, I'm going to get this done, and he did. And then, of course, the Greenville game, as we mentioned, a great Greenville football team. So was Elizabeth, two great football teams. You were there. You saw it. And
that was a great game.
Oh, yeah. And the Greenville game where they, as I said, he threw an interception late in the game. Greenville got the ball, and for all intents and purposes, the game was over. Our defense, the South defense, stopped them. And he told me later coming off the field, he said, guys, give me that ball back one more time. I'm going to get us a W. I'm going to take it down the field. They stopped him. South got the football back, took it down the field, and scored the winning touchdown. And the rest, they say, is history. So, great young man, and we're tickled to death to know him. We appreciate him being on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, podcasting. Again, I have no clue how that works. Horace, how do we podcast?
Well,
or how are you podcasting?
I upload the show every day at the end of the day. You can go into Stitcher and download that app to your smartphone, or you can go to shoutengine.com if you're on a PC. And type in on the search bar, Tom Taylor Sports Show.
He's already talking funny words. PC and Stitcher and Shout Engine. I'll leave it up to you and Captain Drew. So.
And the show will be there.
Yeah.
Now, yesterday we had a little technical difficulties with the internet, so we only had to we got the second hour of the show up. But we hope to have the full show every day to be podcasted. You can download it. You can listen to it right then and there, or you can download it and listen to it at your leisure. Makes no difference.
I'll have to tell you this story before we go to the break. We've got Tony Stewart coming up here next, but what is this thing? Is this the modem over here? Is that the little black box?
Yeah, you got your black box, all the lights on it.
Anyway, I told him when he got in the studio this morning, I said, last night, internet was down because all those lights are off. He went, woo! You are learning, son. You are learning. When those lights are off, it doesn't work. I said, I learned that. So
I'm glad they're on now.
Yeah, there was internet troubles yesterday. So far, so good here on the show. Well, we obviously have no control of the internet, but I think it was experiencing some problems yesterday. But so far, so good today. Free and clear sailing, as they say. Let's get into your man right here, Tony Stewart. Again, let's see what Smoke did. He's won 05, 06, 09, and 2012 in the summer race at Daytona, the second half of the season. At the Daytona 500, he has finished twice. He's finished in the top 5. He's a runner-up in 04 behind Junior. He finished third in 08 behind the winner, Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch. And so his last 3 races, I went back and did a little research this morning. His last 3 races, last year he finished 35th.
Ouch.
Yeah. The 2013 Smoke finished 41st. Ouch, double ouch. And then 2012 Daytona 500, Tony Stewart finished 16th. Here's the question a young lady posed to him. Here's Tony Stewart reflecting on missing the shots at winning the Daytona 500.
How many legitimate shots do you think you had to win the Daytona 500?
I think 2 of them for sure. The year that Newman won and the year that I crashed and took Kurt out with me in that deal. Kurt and I were the 2 best cars in that race all day, and that was definitely one where I got a speeding penalty and had to go to the back and then had to free the car up to get through traffic and get back to the front. And when I got to the front, I was too loose. So that was probably our best shot. But, and then there was one when, I think it was the first one that Dale Jr. won. And there were 3 of us there were 2 of us that had broke away from everybody at the end because of a pit stop. And Kurt was a lap car, and I just couldn't didn't have anybody to get momentum to go by.
I remember how you seemed almost devastated when you came into the media center the year that Newman won. Is that the one that hurts the most? Or?
Yeah, because I had the option. You know, I could have done something, but if I did that, I took a risk of wrecking the entire field and to win the race. And you know, I chose to not wreck everybody. And you know, and I don't remember where we ended up, second or third or sixth or something like that. But you know, we were leading it till we got to the middle of the backstretch on the last lap.
Do you fear that this is a race you'll never win?
No, I mean, not till the day that I don't run here anymore. I mean, everybody's got a shot here, so it's just a matter of, you know, we've been in that position. We've been in that position before, so it's not like we've never been in that position. So at least that gives you confidence that you got a shot.
Tony Stewart again with us, again from the Daytona 500 camp, and I thought it was an interesting question. Do you ever walk in and feel like you don't have a chance? Which, there again, I'm thinking, well, if he thinks that, he should never get behind the wheel. So, yeah, every time you get out on the track, you think you got a shot, don't you? Yeah, I mean, I would think. I mean,
if you don't think you got a shot, why are you out there?
There you go. So, anyway, he said, yeah, absolutely, I think I got a shot. Finished runner-up back in 2004, finished third in 2008. Last year he finished 35th. Again, he's a four-time winner on the summer race at Daytona, 05, 06, 09, and 2012. So we'll see how Smoke does. Of course, they'll crank up with the qualifying the Budweiser duels on Thursday evening. 60 laps, 150-mile races. They'll have two Duel 1 and Duel 2, and let's see where he's going to be. He's going to be in the second. He's going to be in the first race. He'll roll off 15th. And so he qualified at 197.968 miles per hour. So he'll start in that first bunch. The first 60-lap, 150-mile race called the Budweiser Duel 1. That'll be on Thursday night, again at Daytona. And Sprint Cup practice, we'll crank it up tomorrow at 2 and 3:15. A lot of folks don't know that he's kind of downplayed. He had yet another surgery on his leg back in December. His fourth surgery on that leg he tore up in that dirt race up in Eldora a couple of years back. So I believe it's where he crashed at, but he had the dirt race nonetheless, and so he's went through his fourth surgery on that leg, but he says the leg's fine, so we'll see. Yeah. But time will tell. That's going to be a lot of time in that car.
As much as I like him,
yeah,
I still think he's got a lot of racing left in him, but I think he's going to shine when he gets controlling the overall operations of a team. So
there you go. We'll see. And, of course, he's right in the middle of the hot seat now, the Stewart Haas Racing team with the Kurt Busch situation we talked about earlier in the show. So he's one of the co-owners of that team, and they have some decisions to make for sure based on what the Attorney General in Delaware will come down on the ruling if they do before the race. But right now they've been giving him the green flag to get in the car tomorrow and start practicing, he being Kurt Busch, representing Stewart Haas Racing. So Tony Stewart now controversial at times as a driver. Now, and of course, this is nothing he's done, but one of his drivers did a boo-boo off the track, and so now he's in the middle of this controversy, if you will. Stewart Haas Racing and of course, Kurt Busch.
Of course, call it what you will. He won a championship last year with Harvick. So
yes, he did.
So he knows what he's doing.
Exactly. So the downside is Kurt Busch right now, but the uptick was first year Stewart Haas Racing really came to the forefront, and they got the driver they wanted, and the rest is history, bringing home a championship. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll come back with the quiz show brought to you by Vito's, American Import and Auto Repair. The trivia question still out there from my man Horace. His eyes were back in his head when I asked him this, but when and who was the last car make to win the Daytona 500 that was not a Ford or a Chevy? They've dominated the last several races. Any guess at all? Let's try the car make. Any guess at all which car make?
Toyota.
Okay.
Dodge.
Ding, ding, ding. Got the Dodge.
Well,
right.
It had to be Dodge or Toyota. It's those two out there.
Well, you're right. But so who do you think won the last Daytona 500 driving a non-Ford or Chevy in a Dodge?
Boy, I don't know. I'll find out. I'll figure it out.
All right, you're halfway home. Of course, I kind of led you into that one. So it was a Dodge. And do I give him the year? If I give him the year, he may guess.
No.
You don't want the year?
No,
you don't want the driver.
No.
All right. But the last one, non-Ford or Chevy winner, was a Dodge. And who brought home the checkers in the Daytona 500 in that vehicle? We'll see if Horace knows that. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll check in with Richard from Vito's. He's got the quiz show coming up next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this. You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
See what might be hiding in your coverage at farmers.com/gaps.
Sorry. He's shaking his head. Sorry, I was dancing. Dancing in the street. Again, welcome back to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thank you for being with us. Again, make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com, the Tom Taylor Facebook.com / the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Love to hear from you. Give us a comment. Let us know what you think. This is day number 7 of our endeavor. And again, brought to you by one of the good folks at Vito's. Whew, I was telling him off air what I wouldn't give right now for a plate of baked spaghetti or baked ziti. Holy tamale, they got good Italian food at Vito's on Main Street in downtown Kingsport. He's with us, Richard Issacs. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Tom?
Just fine, sir. What I wouldn't give for a big old slab of pizza right now or something that, oh, gosh, what was it I had over the last time?
I think you had baked ziti last time you came in.
Oh, me, oh, my. And the best sweet tea in town, so I've got myself, when the roads clear up, I'm going to get over there hopefully by the end of the week and get me a big old plate of baked ziti and eat like a hog in the trough. You let me do it, won't you?
Oh, you know I will, buddy. That'll thaw you out, won't it?
That'll thaw you out. That's exactly right. And I do want to talk before we get into the to the quiz show. I know they had a great story on our local TV WCYB about the new sports complex right down the street from Vito's, and you guys are the concession stand pizza. You've been averaging, what I hear Tom say, 40 and 50 pizzas on the weekend a day. Is that right?
Yeah, we've been doing about 45, 50 pizzas, and this weekend we sent, I think, 63 pizzas down there. So
wow.
That's pretty good little punch in the arm for us. That gives us a good boost.
And how did Valentine's Day do? Again, Saturday night, it was a night of love, and I know a lot of folks, you had a packed house to come to Vito's for Valentine's, right?
Oh, yeah, we had a good Valentine's Day. I was a little worried because it was so cold and kind of nasty a little bit, but it turned out to be a great Valentine's Day.
All right. So, again, we'll let you tell us again about the hours coming up here in just a second. Let's get into the quiz show. We are playing today right off the Facebook. I selected the name of Phil Hensley. Phil's checked in with us on the Facebook, so we're playing for Phil today. So if you want to get on the as a contestant, I can play for you to win a free oil change or free food. Go to facebook.com / the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So today I'm playing for Phil Hensley, who has checked in with us on Facebook. And, Richard, are these going to be easy questions or hard questions?
I think these are pretty easy for you, Tom.
Okay, so I don't like how he said that. All right, we got 2 up here. We got the quiz show wins 2 so far on the Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance scoreboard. So here we go. Vito's, Richard Issacs, hit me with a question number 1.
All right, Tom. Now, I always tell people how smart you are, so don't let me down, okay?
Okay, put the heat on me. All right, go ahead.
All right, buddy, here we go. I thought since we had all this snow, I'd give you a snow question to start out.
All right.
And question number 1, true or false? Buffalo, New York holds the record for snowfall in a single season at 199 inches.
Buffalo, New York, 199 inches, a single-season record, most snowfall. Somehow I don't think that's right. I think there's a
I can be a lifeline if you want.
Oh, can you? Well,
I've been to Buffalo in the winter.
Yeah.
And when the first snow falls in the fall or winter, October, November, there's snow on the ground until March or April.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It never goes away.
So you're talking a single season, 199 inches of snow in a single season. We're looking for the town Buffalo, New York. Okay, I'm going with horse. I'm going to say true.
Hit the bell, Tom.
Ding,
Good
ding,
job.
ding, ding,
You better
ding,
be
ding.
glad Horace chimed in on that.
Yeah, because I was a little skeptical. All right. Number 1, so I just learned something. Buffalo, New York has a single season most snowfall to 199 inches. All right, what is it divided by 12? Go ahead, go. Question number 2.
All righty. Question number 2. This is, since I think yesterday was President's Day, I'm going to ask you a couple of George Washington questions, okay?
Okay.
All right. Number 2, true or false? When George Washington was elected president, he only had one tooth in his head.
That means he could have been from West Virginia. Ho!
And people say you can't be anything if you don't have good teeth. You can be president, can't you?
I guess so. So the question, true or false, he only had one tooth in his head. I'll go true. Why not?
You got it, buddy.
All right. Get the
Ding,
bell.
ding, 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 ding,
All
ding,
right,
Ding, 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 ding. You're on a
Yeah,
roll, buddy. 2 for 2.
Our dinger's off the air right now.
Oh, we got that's the story of my life. I got a bad dinger. All right. I'm 2 for 2.
Alrighty.
So
Another
that's
George Washington question.
all right.
Number 3, when George Washington had his dentures made, they were made of wood, wooden dentures.
That's true. Yes, I knew that.
I am so sorry, Tom. That is false. Everybody thinks they were wooden.
Oh no! I was so cocky. Are you sure? I thought his what was his dentures made out of?
His dentures were made out of human teeth, cow teeth, and elephant ivory.
Wow!
And you can see a picture of them from the Smithsonian Institute, and they look like cow teeth.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Open wide there, Tom. Let me see if you got it counted.
Boy, you thought you had that one, didn't you, Tom?
Yeah, I was
you
being
right in there, boy. You didn't even think about it, did you?
I was being too cocky. See, that's what happens. You get a little cocky. So, look right here. See this tooth right.
That's like throwing a pass from the 2-foot line, isn't it?
That's exactly right. Look at this tooth right here. This is a cow tooth because it moves when I push it. Okay, that's bad. All right, go ahead. Question number 4.
Well, you're 2 for 3 so far. That's not too bad. All right, number 4.
Yes, sir.
This is a sports broadcast question for you.
Oh no.
ESPN first broadcast was September 7th in the year 1979, which make ESPN 35 years old in September.
That's false. They're not that old. Okay.
I'm sorry again, Tom.
When he pauses.
ESPN, they started on it in 1978, and its first broadcast was September 7th, 1979. I would never thought it was that old either, buddy.
I thought it was in the 80s. Okay, so I'm 2 for 2. Can I at least avoid humiliation?
If you had looked at me,
Yeah.
I could have told you that when I was in college at ETSU in 1981, ESPN was on the air then. That would have helped you get close anyways.
Yeah.
All righty. Another sports question.
All right, here we go. Number 5. Oh, boy. All right.
All righty, here we go. Number 5, true or false? The tallest player to ever play in the NBA stood 7 feet 7 inches tall. True or false?
That would be Manute Bol. I'm going to say that's true.
Well, you are right. It is true, but Manute Bol was 7 foot 6 3/4 inches, and this guy, George Merson, was drafted by the Washington Bullets in 1993, is said to be 1/4 inch taller than Manute Bol. However, you did say true, so you are correct.
Ding, 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 ding.
5.
So I avoided humiliation today. That's very good. So.
Yep, you saved humiliation with that one, didn't you, buddy?
Yep. So I missed. Which one did I miss? I missed George Washington's teeth. Is that correct?
Yep.
I missed that one. What was that one I missed? I was.
And ESPN ESPN.
Oh, ESPN.
First broadcast was September 7th, 1979.
That was awful. I should have got that one. Okay. All right, so I'll go 3 for 5, but I lose on George Washington's teeth. They weren't wooden. They're made out of people's teeth, cow teeth, and elephant ivory. And then, wonder how they got them grinded down back in the day. They didn't have any drills. Wonder how they did that.
I don't know. I guess they used a chisel or something.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
But
All right.
They don't look very comfortable if you look at a picture of them. I don't know how the man held them in his mouth.
You're hilarious. All right. George Washington's teeth. Didn't do well then and missed on ESPN. Richard, before I let you go, tell me the hours again at Vito's. And, again, your top 3, and we know the pizzas are great, obviously. Give me the top 3 most popular entrees you have right now at Vito's and the hours you're open.
Well, our top 3 entrees would be, of course, our lasagna is probably our number 1. Everybody says it's the best they've ever had.
Oh, it's awesome,
Most
yes.
people come in always love the lasagna. The baked spaghetti is one of the tops, and then I guess either the baked ziti or the stuffed shells, baked stuffed shells.
Wow.
Those are all great items right there.
They are dynamite. On Main Street.
You can't go wrong with any of that stuff.
No. On Main Street in downtown Kingsport. And give me the hours you're open, my friend.
We are open Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. And on Thursday and Friday, we're open 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. On Friday and Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're open 11 a.m. till 3 p.m.
I got a horse tore up. He wants to come over there and eat. He loves Italian foods. I'm going to bring him over one day and feed him because he loves it. And our other buddy I brought over this summer, he got a calzone or a stromboli, Robert, and he loved it. So I'm going to bring Horace over there. And I'd say, I'm just going to tell you right up front, Richard, he and I are going to put a hurting because he and I can throw down some food. Me and Horace can hit it.
Good. You get him on over here.
All right, we'll get him over and then he can talk about it as well. Richard,
Yeah,
great.
All righty, buddy.
Great job. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next Tuesday, all right?
Okay. Thank you now.
Yes, sir. Appreciate him very much. Appreciate him being on the show again. Vito's on Main Street in downtown Kingsport, right there beside the Kingsport Cabinetry, and also right down from this one totally blanks, right beside Kingsport Cabinetry and Pappy's Motorcycle Shop. And again, excellent food. Vito's on Main Street in downtown Kingsport. 60 pizzas they sold at that sports complex right down the street. We're going to get those guys on.
That's a lot of pizza.
That is a lot of pizza. They got 4 regulation basketball courts in this big building they redid. And
I used to have a stupid stat I sent to you one time about pizza. How many acres of pizza they were consumed every day.
Yeah, yes, you did.
I got to look that back up.
You got to start bringing those in. So you don't have anything else to do sitting over there doing all the equipment and the bells and whistles. By the way, 199 inches of snow in Buffalo, New York equates to about 16 feet.
That's about right.
Yeah. Now, did I read the other day where Boston's under 7 feet of snow already? Right now.
This is the record for Boston this year.
Yeah.
But Buffalo, they get all that lake effect snow. They get hammered all the time.
Yeah. So went 3 for 5. Saved myself an embarrassment, but did not do well on the George Washington teeth and the ESPN. I'd have never guessed they were in 79. I thought they were in the 80s. So you were in college in 81? Is that what you said?
Yeah, my first round. Well, actually, it was the fall of 80. I take that back. It was the fall of 80. So, no, it was fall of 1980s when I went. So, yeah.
The first round. There's a.
But I have a degree.
There you go. I'm not going to embarrass him, but there is a story behind Horace's college life, to say the least. Hey, make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, as Horace said, we're podcasting. Download the Stitcher app, and then for your smartphone. Did I say that right for podcasting? Is that correct?
Say that again.
Download the Stitcher app.
Yeah, the Stitcher app. Just go into the App Store on your phone or and search Stitcher, STITCHER. It's an app. You can download the app, and then when you open up the app, search Tom Taylor Sports Show, and the podcast will come up. You can listen to it right then and there, but I think you can also have the option of downloading it.
Yeah. And we are 59 days away from Bristol Live. It's going to be here before you know it. That's hard to believe, but the days are clicking off, getting ready to go racing with the spring race at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's April, baby. And, again, we've got 423 Bristol. You can go there to get your tickets or BristolTix.com. Again, they've got tickets now for the spring race. Again, we've talked about this. The best value for, at least for my money and for, I guess, a lot of folks' money, the way the phones are ringing, you get 5 days of racing, 3 days in April, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 2 days in August, the Saturday and Sunday of the Urban Tools Night Race weekend, for $149 a ticket. You get 5 days of racing, plus put you in the running to get the Battle of Bristol tickets to go see Tennessee and Virginia Tech in September, a year from now. So that is really a way to go. You get 2 bangs for your buck. You're guaranteed seats in the spring coming up. Ticket sales are very brisk for the April race, and you also get tickets for the race in April, or rather in August. Again, that would be 423 Bristol, or you can go to on the website at bristoltix.com and get your tickets. And so you get 5 days of racing, 5 into 149, kick it up $1, 5 into 150 is $30 a day. $30 a day to get to the toughest ticket in NASCAR and the world's fastest half mile. Plus, you get access to the Battle of Bristol tickets to see the Hokies and Virginia Tech. So can't go wrong with those. Quick break. We'll come right back. Again, our thought for the day before we go to the break, brought to you by Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance. Here's the thought for the day. I think this is awesome. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Folks doubting they can do something, they just stop doing it. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. There was a time when folks told me this wouldn't work, and here we are in day number 7. And it's growing by each day, and we certainly appreciate that. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. That's your thought for the day, brought to you by Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance at 282-1389. The Big Easy is as we call him. And they've got a great commercial picking up about Peyton Manning and NASCAR Nationwide. We're going to be running those for you starting very soon. And so Peyton is now on. You know, Junior was the spokesperson for Nationwide. Now he's stepped back, and they've signed Peyton Manning. So, by the way, have you heard any more about Peyton?
I haven't heard a word.
Yeah, see, they met with him last Thursday. We told you about that on the show, but I haven't heard anything more about it, whether he's going to stay, go. I know he met with the team owner and John Elway, the GM, but nothing more has been said. So
I guess they're keeping it under wraps.
What do you think he's going to do?
Since we haven't heard anything.
Yep. No news is good news.
Well, I think there's some evaluation going on. No news is good news? I don't know. I think no news means that they're questioning his ability to come back.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, physically?
Physically.
Really?
That's me.
So you think there's some doubt in the Broncos camp?
I think they want him back. I think he wants to come back, but the liability, I think they're trying to put the big picture on the wall and see if it's, if this is the time.
True or false, he was kind of gimpy in the playoffs when he hurt.
Oh, yeah,
hurt.
It wasn't hurt. It wasn't his neck this time, though. I think it was a thigh or leg or some sort of leg injury.
So, anyway, that just struck me as funny. I've not heard anything about Peyton Manning. So, we'll take a quick break. Coming up, we still have yet to come. Get a chance to hear from Chase Elliott, the Wonder Boy who won the NASCAR Nationwide Series, now the Xfinity Series last year, back to defend his crown with the new crew chief. And we'll hear from Chase Elliott about being a pinch-me moment here in the offseason. Also, Jimmy Johnson. We'll hear from him coming up a little bit later on to the show, again, out of the NASCAR camp at Daytona. And then also we've got Doug Fritz going to join us live, our sports writer friend from the Johnson City Press. The high school basketball season has been turned upside down in the postseason with the weather. And a lot of things have been canceled, obviously, and they should be. Don't want people out on the road trying to watch games when you can't get to school or work. And so Doug will tell us all about that and who he thinks is going to make a strong running in the regional tournament that starts. Now they pushed it back. Everybody's got to start on Monday. And, again, the TSSAA made a ruling that all the districts and regions across the state must start now on Monday. So nobody can get an unfair advantage. They moved everybody back, even the ones in other parts of the state that are not impacted by the wintry weather. And so all the districts and regions will have to start on the 23rd, which is on Monday. And so that gives everybody an even playing field. And we'll talk to Doug about that coming up in the 2 o'clock hour. Quick break. We'll be right back. We've got college hoops to talk about with Horace and see what he thinks about this big matchup tonight, Kentucky and Tennessee. Can the Volunteers knock off the number 1 team in the country at Thompson Bowling Arena tonight? I would assume a sellout crowd for the Wildcats. We'll talk about that and some college hoops and talking some more NASCAR coming up. We thank you for being with us. You are watching in Day 7, the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. Hello to Tommy and April and Spencer and all the kids at Bracken today. 323-8726. You can still give them a call and get signed up for him to come out and give you a free quote at 323-8726, the number to call. Bracken Asphalt Maintenance and Bracken Paving. And again, get that driveway sealed, get some paving done, get a driveway or parking lot striped. I know, in fact, he told me this one of our interviews, Tommy did, that this salt will really eat the paint off of the stripes on a parking lot. So
yeah,
we got more snow coming. Obviously, they're telling us that. So when all the snow clears the springs here, you want to get that parking lot restriped. Also, those handicap blue insignias or logos down on the pavement, need some of those too. They can do that for you. And
you think he'd stripe a driveway?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know why I want one done, but I mean, just saying. I guess he could stripe a driveway.
What do you want? I mean, you want like a 3-point goal? The basketball
I don't know. Yeah, if someone has a ball goal, I mean, can they do that kind of striping?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they stripe that. And tennis courts, they got, individual or private or Parks and Rec tennis courts, those kind of things. They do those all the time.
I need arrows on my driveway so my wife knows which way to go.
Oh, no.
Knock, knock.
Yeah. That's good. She hears that
Never
tonight.
mind. Sorry, honey.
She hears that on the podcast tonight. That'll go over well. Let's look at college basketball again from last night. Number 2, Virginia won. Number 6, Villanova won. Number 19, Butler won. 23rd ranked West Virginia beat number 8, Kansas. 62-61 in Morgantown. By the way, for those of you who don't see this, this is We Are Marshall. How about that? Dial into that bad boy right there. We Are Marshall. And, of course, up in West Virginia, your big rival in West Virginia was West Virginia University. The town is Morgantown, but we always called it Morgan Hole. So in Morgan Hole last night, West Virginia beat the Kansas Jayhawks in men's college basketball. And who would be, if you're a Tennessee fan, I guess Alabama, Florida, who would be just kind of grit your teeth when you hear the team's name?
Well, if you're not a Tennessee fan, you don't care who Tennessee's playing. You're for them.
Okay.
So
everybody
else.
Yeah. Back up home. It's West Virginia and Marshall, the big rivalry, and they always think we're the redheaded stepchild in the state. We may very well be, but we're still Marshall.
In football, Tennessee, Alabama. In basketball, though, I think it's Tennessee, Kentucky. Those are the rivalries.
Which is tonight. Kentucky, number 1 team in the land. Virginia, number 2. Gonzaga, number 3. Duke at number 4. Wisconsin, number 5. Number 6 is Villanova. Number 7, Arizona. Number 8, Kansas. None of those changed from last week. Utah jumps from number 11 to number 9. Notre Dame stays at number 10, and Kansas is 8. So I missed one. 8, 9, and 10. And so let me run down through those again. Kentucky, Virginia, Gonzaga, Duke, and Wisconsin, the top 5. Villanova, Arizona, Kansas, which that'll change after losing last night. Utah, Notre Dame, the top 10 for the gentlemen. For the ladies, UConn, South Carolina, Baylor, Notre Dame, Maryland, the top 5 of the ladies. Tennessee stays number 6 in Lady Vols. Then comes Oregon State, Louisville, Florida State, and the Duke Lady Blue Devils round out the top 10 in women's college basketball. All right, so my man's done a damage control. I told you this before the show. Donnie Tyndall, the coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. Tonight they got Kentucky. Let's see. Tennessee has lost 5 of its last 7 games, dropping the Vols from 2nd to 7th. They've been very vulnerable at home where they're 2-4 in the Southeastern Conference at home at Thompson Bowling. Trying to stop Kentucky tonight, 25-0, 12-0 in the Southeastern Conference. Got an article out of the Kingsport Times-News that says Tennessee's Tyndall on unbeaten Kentucky says they are arguably Say it for me real fast. Arguably,
but I can't even say it either.
I can't either. If you want to argue somebody, they're the best team to ever be assembled. Now, this is my take on this. He's setting himself up because he's about to get his wings clipped or his hammer dropped on him. So he's going to say when they get drilled tonight, I told you they're one of the best teams ever. One of the best teams to ever be assembled. They haven't won anything. They haven't even won the national championship.
No. They're going to get beat. And if they don't lose before the tournament, somebody's going to beat them in the tournament, and it's all for naught. I don't care.
But to go back, in fact, he compares them with the 1990 UNLV team, which is okay. But there again, when you say it's one of the best teams ever assembled, there's been a lot of great basketball teams down through the years. How about the 10 in a row John Wooden won at UCLA? How about North Carolina?
Mrs. V has chimed in.
Show is very interesting today. Peyton had problems with pulled or torn quad muscle in playoffs. Otherwise, pretty boy Tom Brady might not have that new ring on his finger. I like her. That's Mrs. V. That's horses, honey. And so Mrs. pretty boy Tom Brady.
There you go.
She nailed him.
Yeah.
Now, should I tell the story or get off track? Should I tell the story of the Super Bowl party at the horse house where I chimed in?
No. Well, let's save that for another day
when
it's snowing outside again.
Where Mrs. V got up with that finger and said, wait just a minute. You're talking about, I made fun of Peyton Manning, just made a little swipe, and she jumped up and said, wait just a minute. And I looked over you went, you've done it now. Oh, we love Mrs. V. That'd be horses, honey. So, anyway, UNLV, this guy, again, I'm thinking Donnie Tyndall is trying to just kind of save his bacon here because they could get run out of the gym tonight. And
they can.
But there again, that could catch them on an off night. It could be a good ball game. But
Kentucky's probably going to overlook Tennessee. And if Tennessee plays up to their level of play at their best, it'll be a close game. Otherwise, it's going to be a runaway. That's just me.
I didn't realize. I've not checked your team. Wyman will tell me better because he's a huge Kentucky fan. But 6 Wildcats stand 6'9" or taller. They got 3 starters at 6'10". The front line is 6'10", 6'10", 6'10". Wow.
I've seen a AAU team all that size, and it's something to behold.
Their front line is 6'10", 6'10", 6'10". 6 Wildcats on the roster are 6'9" or taller. And so, anyway, my point to all this thing is one of the best teams ever. They haven't done anything. No. So, again, I'm pounding the drum here.
They are
winning. But to say they're one of the best teams ever,
not yet.
That kind of slights the teams that have went on to win national championships. Krzyzewski, some of his teams, the North Carolina team with Jordan and Perkins and Worthy, those guys are pretty good. And I'm leaving some out, of course.
Some UCLA teams back in the 70s. Oh, man, there's some.
Michigan team, the Fab Five, did they win a national championship?
Yeah, they did, but they got it taken away.
Yeah, well, they had it stripped because of some infractions. Yeah. Yes. So, anyway, for him to say that, we'll see tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN, the Tennessee Vols and the Kentucky Wildcats at Thompson Bowling Arena. And, again, it's the only time they play each other, too. So, it's they've changed the format home and away. So the only time they play each other is tonight in the regular season. And let's see. Let's try him one more time. In fact, he answered during the break. Horse is on this NASCAR trivia question. All right, we didn't give you, but we kind of process elimination. The last non-Ford or Chevy Daytona 500 winner was
It was a Dodge.
The year was
2008.
Yes, you're right on it. And the driver was
Ryan Newman.
Rocket Ryan Newman. You're right. That was the year Smoke finished third in the race behind he and Kurt Busch. And so that was one of his better showings. So Rocket Ryan Newman. Now, let me give you one more trivia question. I went back and did a little research this morning. The last time somebody started on the pole, like Gordon's going to do on Sunday, started on the pole and won the race from the pole. I was surprised at who won this. I'm not surprised who won it. I should the fact that they did it back in 2000. Drove the 88 car for Robert Yates Racing. Does that help you out any?
No.
Okay. It was a Quality Care Ford Credit Ford. That help you?
No.
He's retired now. He's in the broadcast booth.
Mark Martin?
Nope.
No. No, in the broadcast booth.
He's in the broadcast booth now.
Waltrip?
Nope. One of the teams.
I'm way out there.
His daddy drove. His daddy was a famous driver.
Yeah. Keep going.
What else should I tell you? His last name starts with a J. I mean, that's. I mean, what? Keep going. What else?
Forget it. What else? I've had a brain fade. Forget it.
It starts with a J.
Johnson.
No, he's retired.
Retired.
Dale Jarrett.
Jarrett, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I had a brain fade.
Oh, I don't feel so bad. When I get brain burps, I'm going, can you give me some more
You're
hits?
asking me NASCAR. I'm going, oh, gosh, no, gosh. Here we go. I just went blank.
What else do you want me to tell you? I'm sorry. So anyway, Dale Jarrett's last one to start on the pole and win the Daytona 500 from the pole back in 2000. Interesting stat. I did go back 1999, the year before, Mr. Gordon started on the pole and won from the pole, which is where he'll be on Sunday. So there you go. We'll take a quick break. Nope, let's go do your curveball. Let's do Chase Elliott. Chase, again, the Xfinity Series winner from a year ago. He is back in the saddle. Of course, the announcement made back in the offseason a couple of weeks back was the fact that he's going to replace Gordon next year for Rick Hendrick Motorsports, which is he's going to take over the number 24 ride, which is really cool. And so, again, Chase Elliott, of course, the son of Bill Elliott, won the Nationwide Series a year ago. And so this year he'll try and come back and defend his crown with a new crew chief, Ernie Cope. Cope promoted from within at JR Motorsports after Greg Ives guided Elliott to last year's title, moved on to Hendrick Motorsports to be crew chief for Junior. So he's got a new crew chief, Ernie Cope. And so, of course, it's the Napa Auto Parts machine. His owner, of course, Kelly Earnhardt Miller and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the co-owners of the team. And so Chase Elliott, the question posed to him was, has this been a pinch me off season, kind of pinch me and go, gosh, is this really for real? And Chase Elliott had this to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just a lot of changes. You know, just think a little over a year ago, we didn't have any plans to race full time in the Xfinity Series. So, you know, just crazy how things have gone this past year, and very thankful, and just like I said, very thankful for the opportunity, and but again, a lot of racing between now and next year. So, you know, it is a pinch me moment, and it has been this entire off season, and especially in the past couple weeks. So I'm excited to get started this year and just get back to racing. I think it's exciting to kind of have the announcement out there and know what's going on and just be able to go and race. Everybody can focus now and try to do their jobs this year. Well, I think Jeff is a legend, and, you know, I think for anybody who didn't think that, you know, would probably be wrong. You know, Jeff is a guy who I feel like kind of, in a way, has given younger guys an opportunity to come into the sport. You know, he was, the way he came in was a little different than the guys had in the past and before him. So I think any younger guy who is racing now really owes something to Jeff. You know, in that sense, to really have that opportunity. So, you know, I like I said, Jeff is a guy, I think that any racer growing up, it's hard not to look up to somebody like him, and for everything he's accomplished in his career, you know, it's been unreal to watch, you know, some of it, and I hope he has a great season this year. I'll be the biggest Jeff Gordon around. I've said that a bunch, so I'm excited for him, and I hope he has a great season.
Again, that was Chase Elliott, again, down in Daytona. A pinch me moment. I guess a pinch me moment. Good grief. Guy won the NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship. What is he, 18, 19 years old? I was trying to check his age. 18.
He's 18?
Considering what Elliott, a raw rookie at 18, accomplished last year, he'll turn 19 this year. And so Chase Elliott, again, we'll get a chance to see him come to town. And, of course, in April, he'll be in the Xfinity Series schedule. We'll get a chance to see him then. Of course, in August as well, so we'll see him twice at Bristol Motor Speedway. Another reason, how about a selfish plug here, another reason to get your tickets to see clearly one of the stars of NASCAR up and coming, no question. He and I would throw Kyle Larson in there too. I still say Kyle Larson's going to have a heck of a year. And so Chase Elliott, again, coming to town in April on the 18th for the Xfinity Series race. And so you want to get your tickets again by calling 423-BRISTOL and BristolTix.com. She says, as much as I love my alma mater, Tennessee will not win unless Kentucky's first and second team come down with an infectious disease tonight, are unable to take the court. There you go. That was my next question before we got to they don't have any chance to win this game, do you think?
There's always a chance.
Right.
But if you were a gambling person,
don't go to Vegas.
Yeah,
don't go to Vegas on this one. Got you. So anyway, Chase Elliott, again, going to be in here. Those tickets, again, 423 Bristol and BristolTix.com. 5 days of racing for $149 a ticket. 3 days in the spring, of course, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 days in the fall, Saturday and Sunday, $149 ticket. Plus, it puts you in for the Battle of Bristol. To get your tickets for that. And it also gets you in the running in the spring race, too, for the Super Pass to see the Old Crow Medicine Show. It's going to be the pre-race concert on the 19th, and so that's another reason to get your tickets. BristolTix.com or 423 Bristol. And, again, 5 days of racing for $149. Add another dollar to it for the West Virginia math. 150 divided by 5 is $30 a day.
Yeah.
That's or $30 a race. You can't beat that. That's for the world's fastest half mile. That is a value at Bristol Motor Speedway. Coming up, we'll check in with Jimmy Johnson a little bit later on here this hour. Also, we're going to be checking in with Steve O'Donnell, Chief Racing Development Officer for NASCAR. See what he has to say about the knockout format. Some didn't like it, some did. We'll check in with him, see what he has to say about that. And also, Doug Fritz going to join us from the Johnson City Press. Doug, of course, telling us all about the basketball schedule. Before we go to the break, let me run that down for you one more time because it happens tonight, and it's very, very important to make sure you know what's going on here. If I can find it again, here we go. Thank you. And also, Horse has got a baseball story to tell you about involving a young man who's retiring. You told me that when we first got here. Did you know somebody's stepping away from the game? And we'll talk about that here in just a second. So let's run down again what is scheduled today. And I would definitely call the school to see if, in fact, it's going to be going on. 4 games today. Again, the 1AA tournament at the Dyer Dome at Sullivan East. You have at 3:30, Unicoi County's ladies playing Happy Valley at 3:30 for third place, followed at 5 o'clock with Unicoi County Sullivan East boys third place game. The girls' championship set for 6:30. Number 1 team in the state, the Elizabethton Lady Cyclones, battling Sullivan East. 8 o'clock game tonight between Elizabethton and Sullivan South guys, which should be a dandy game. All 4 of those cranking up. Of course, 3:30 is not that far away. Maybe we can find out, which it's a little over an hour left. Maybe we can find out if, in fact, that's going to be going on. As far as the District 1A tournament, girls' third-place game set for 4 o'clock today. Cloudland taking on North Green. The boys' third-place contest will be at 5:30. University High battling North Green. Both of those at the Bobby Snyder Gym at Daniel Boone. Girls' championship set for 7. South Green going up against Hampton. 8:30 game tonight will be the Hampton Bulldogs facing off against South Green. South Green's girls, by the way, 5th in the state. And the Hampton boys ranked 6th in the state this week for Ned Smith's Hampton Bulldogs. And, again, that is going on, as we said, tonight. And I would definitely check and see. Maybe we can find out if those games are going to be going on. See if I can call somebody or find somebody during one of the breaks to let you know about that. Again, clean up the desk before we go to the break. College basketball last night, senior night, not many there at Freedom Hall, but Jalen Riley had 31. Rashawn Rembert added 17. East Tennessee State beat Tennessee Tech 87-79 at Freedom Hall. Again, the Bucks now 16-10 on the season. And so, again, senior night, Jalen Riley had lit him up for 31. Rashawn Rembert added 17. Bucks for Murray Bartow get a big win. Lady Bucks on the road got a double-double from Destiny Mitchell as she had 20 points, 19 boards. Freshman Tiana Tarter scored 20. Lady Bucks won at UNC Greensboro. Final score there had a big win on a blowout night as they beat them 84-66 on the road. Lady Bucks now 18-8 overall and 10-1 in the Southern Conference. And as I was telling you before earlier in the show, I don't know if you can see this, but there's Kurt's new squeeze. Kurt Busch got him a new girl, Ashley Van Maitre, M-E-T-R-E. That's his new goyle. And so what was the last one's name? The first one, the one got him in trouble, Patricia Driscoll. So he's supposed to stay away from her, and judging by her, since he got him a new girl, he probably won't be a problem. He's moved on to a new girl. So anyway, Kurt Busch, as we said earlier in the show, waiting for the Attorney General in Delaware to give him a clearance to decide what they're going to do, whether they're going to let him race or not. And you say you think they'll let him go? You think they're going to rain on his parade between now and Sunday?
I think they'll let him go for. Like I said, you can't not let him go.
No.
I mean, it is what it is, but there's been no definitive decision made from those outside the NASCAR world. So until you hear otherwise, you go on about your business and just see what happens.
So far today, we've heard from Tony Stewart, we've heard from Chase Elliott, we've heard from Dillon Weigger, young man from Sullivan South, moving on to play football at East Tennessee State. Yet to come here in the last portion of our show, Jimmy Johnson. We'll check in with him from Daytona, get his take on being on that front row with his teammate Jeff Gordon. Also, Steve O'Donnell, the Chief Racing Development Officer for NASCAR. Again, the knockout format, some liked it, some didn't. He'll explain why they got to that point to try it at Daytona, where they've done it at every other track. And so we'll check in with him a little bit later on. And again, Doug Fritz will join us coming up here in just a few minutes from the Johnson City Press. Again, we'll find out what's going on with basketball and get Doug's take on the regional tournament and the district tournament, because it is tournament time in Tennessee for boys and girls basketball. Of course, the ultimate goal is get down to Murfreesboro and win a state championship for your school. So he's coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll come right back with more. Again, the thought for the day from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance: doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Doubting Thomas. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And I forgot to give the Bible verse, too, because this show is dedicated to the man who hung on the cross for us. Out of Psalms 139, you are my wonderful work. Don't ever forget that. You were not hidden from me, for I created you. I have ordained all your days. They were written in my book before the beginning of time. My thoughts are precious to you. They are more than all the grains of sand. That's Psalms 139. So based on that verse, I knew you, for I created you. I have ordained all your days. I should say they were written in my book for the beginning of times. That means today, on Feb 17, 2015, he knew you'd be sitting over there. You know, I'd be sitting over here with a Marshall University shirt on and a Bristol Motor Speedway ball cap before we ever came out of our mother's womb. So that's the kind of God we serve, and that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
My thoughts are precious to you. They're more than all the grains of sand. Whew, that's strong. Psalms 139, 14 through 18 is our verse of the day. Back after this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance, because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that it's smart to replace washing machine hoses every 5 years? What if you didn't know that you might need extra coverage for more expensive items? And what if you didn't know that teen drivers are 4 times more likely to get into an accident? So, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Uh-oh, we got something going on there. We're just going to go in, no bumper. Sorry about that. Go.
All right, there we go. Back again at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. That was nice to know that it's over there.
That's right. That was me this time.
Usually I'm the train wreck, but I tell you what, you talking about this guy's a godsend over here.
No.
Yes, you are. You're awesome. I so appreciate your friendship and what you're doing with this show. Don't think it doesn't go unappreciated. Now, baseball, the guy's hanging it up, and I started reading his numbers. This guy's had a pretty strong career. I didn't realize to what extent, but he is hanging it up after 20 seasons. He is
Jason Giambi.
Jason Giambi, gone. He's American League MVP back in 2000. leaving after 20 seasons in the majors. Again, he is one of only 20 players in Major League history, at least 400 home runs, 1,400 RBIs, 1,200 runs, and 1,300 walks. 44-year-old Giambi played for the A's, the Yankees, Colorado, and Cleveland. So checked out with his family. They said it's fine. You can hang it up. It's okay, Dad. Okay, honey. So his wife says. And so Jason Giambi. You think it'll be one of those guys ends up in the broadcast booth?
I think there's a good, strong possibility.
Yeah, it's pretty articulate when you hear him. The guy's very well.
And it wouldn't surprise me if it happens sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So anyway, Jason Giambi is retiring after 20 seasons. Also, we told you earlier in the week, in fact, yesterday, Andy Pettitte, has to be earlier in the week because today's only Tuesday, so it had to be yesterday. They're retiring the number of Andy Pettitte for the Yankees. They're also announcing they are going to retire the uniform numbers of Jorge Posada and Bernie Williams and also Willie Randolph. So I'm reading down through here. They also expect to retire Derek Jeter's number 2 at some point. So here's the guys. I know we don't like the Yankees per se, but here are the numbers they have retired. Billy Martin's number 1, Babe Ruth number 3, Lou Gehrig's number 4, Joe DiMaggio's number 5, Joe Torre's number 6, Mickey Mantle's number 7, Yogi Bear's number 8, Roger Maris's number 9, Phil Rizzuto's number 10, Thurman Munson number 15, Whitey Ford number 16, Don Mattingly number 23, Elston Howard, what numbers they got left? Elston Howard 32, Casey Stengel number 37, Mariano Rivera, number 42, Reggie Jackson, number 44, and Ron Guidry, number 49. So those guys are all going to have theirs retired along with Pettitte's 46, Posada's 20, and Williams 51, and Derek's number 2. Let me add these up here real quick. I'm nervous. They may be out there running around T-shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 numbers, but the Yankees are going to retire. Or they are going to retire or are retired. So, interesting. But anyway, coming up later this summer, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, Bernie Williams, Willie Randolph, and probably at some point Derek Jeter's going to have one hung up in his name as well. So, Jeter wore number 2. So, anyway, that's some baseball news. Also, we told you on Friday, remember I told you the college baseball season, they're going to change the baseball?
Yeah, the seams are going to be a little more flush with the ball.
Already have come out with some statistics. ACC first weekend, home runs up. Southeastern Conference first weekend of baseball play, home runs up big time. I mean, dramatically. The number flying out of the ballpark. Some of the others haven't reported in yet, but two or three of the conferences, the ACC's reported numbers way up on the home run, the long ball, because the seams changed. And they said when they're going to put this into college play, it's going to allow the ball to go even 20 feet further off the bat. So a lot of home runs already after the first weekend.
But I'm anxious to see the stats with the pitching, how that affects pitchers. I mean, those pitchers want that seam they can grab onto to make their pitches, to rotate the ball. And if the seams are shorter and more flush, will the ball move like they want it to when they pitch? So we'll see.
So the pitching numbers going to go down, obviously, you would think.
Well, I would think there'd be more fastballs.
Yeah. Some more smoke coming. Believe it or not, this comes from the Apester from Bracken Asphalt Mains. We're talking about getting your driveway striped. Believe it or not, we have striped the driveway before. They wanted yellow lines going down the edges. So
caution. Caution.
Well, no, that's to stay on, I guess.
That's for I'm not going to go there.
Stay on the pavement, right? So, anyway, that's interesting to say the least. So we have yellow edges down your driveway. Now, you said you were going to get these in possibly for Mrs. V with arrows on the driveway.
No, I'm not going to do that. I was just fooling.
Good. Yeah, let's not get that phone will burn up here. And that thing will bzz, 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 it'll blow up here in just a second. So we don't want that. But Mrs. V, even she said tonight, the chances of her beloved Vols beating Kentucky not going to happen because it's not going to happen. This ain't the year. Are you sold on Donnie Tyndall, by the way, the coach of UT?
No.
I'm not sold on him at all. I think it was a quick hire. The guy's probably a pretty good coach. He got Southern Miss in some academic trouble, so jury's still out because he inherited a team. The cupboard was pretty bare. Everybody knows that. And so who's the guy that left, Quanzo?
I'll give him a chance, though. Yeah. I mean, if next year we have the same kind of a year, yeah.
Yeah, because he inherited nothing. The cupboard was empty down at Knoxville. And when he did name him, some of the guys that hung around left, so he started from ground zero. But we'll see. But for him to come out and say that this Kentucky team tonight's one of the best teams ever assembled, may very well be, but they haven't done anything yet. The talent's on the floor, but again, that's a lot of college basketball teams down through the years that I wouldn't say he's sliding, but he's comparing them unfairly because this team hasn't done anything yet. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we thank you for being with us. Be sure and make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're here every weekday afternoon from 1 to 3. One of our fine sponsors, Cherokee Barbershop, had the beard trimmed down there last week by my man Gator. When are you due to go back in and get?
I was going today.
Oh, really?
But he closed.
Oh, really?
He took a snow day.
He took a snow day. The old Gator took a snow day.
Yes,
so
he did.
You were going to get the shave and the shave. You get the shave up here.
I just take the clippers, the no setting, just clippers, take it off, and then give me a shave. I'm happy.
There you go. And the beard?
Beard, that's what I'm saying.
Trims it.
He can trim that if he wants to. Yeah. But
does a great job.
Oh, yeah.
They put some hot towels in your face.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Like I said, if you're not careful, you fall asleep.
Yeah. It's awesome. Cherokee Barbershop, South Roan Street, right down below Tipton Haynes Working Farm in South Johnson City. And he's open normally, not when the weather is as it is, but 8:30 to 5 Monday or Tuesday through Friday, and then Saturday from 8:30 to 1. So Cherokee Barbershop, my man, the Gator, and he asked the questions yesterday. I went, what'd I do? I went 5 for 5 yesterday.
Yeah.
You said
I'm going to ask him if there's a little under-the-table action going on here.
Me?
Yeah.
Come on now. Moi? All right. So we went 5 for 5 yesterday. Today went 3 for 5. Not so much. Today's questions we missed. George Washington's teeth were wooden. I thought everybody knew that, but it's not. They were made out of human teeth,
cow teeth,
and elephant ivory. And the other one I missed today was ESPN debuted in 1979. I'd have never guessed that. I thought it was in the 80s. So not good on either one of those. But it is what it is. So went 3 for 5 today, playing for Phil Hensley. We'll try it again tomorrow. And tomorrow, the Apester gives me – no, she won't ask him. She has Tommy ask me Elvis questions tomorrow. So we'll see if we can do any better this week on Elvis.
More Elvis
than we did last week. So
thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. 1 for the money, 2 for the show. We're going to take a quick break, come right back. We'll check in with Doug Fritz, our sports writer of the John City Press. Basketball, he may have an answer on what's going on tonight. He's in the know. Some of these games that have been canceled, and we try to make contact with some folks. School's out, most of the school districts today, so we'll find out if they're playing basketball tonight at Sullivan East and at Daniel Boone High School in the AA and Single A tournaments, respectively. And also, everything's been moved. The regional play to next Monday. We'll let him tell us all about that and who he thinks is going to be strong in the regional play. The ultimate goals get where? State tournament in Murfreesboro. And so that's the name of the game. We'll see if he can enlighten us on that. Also, Jimmy Johnson yet to come. Hear from him, I should say. Jimmy Johnson about his front row start on Sunday for the Daytona 500. All that coming up and more. Quick break. We'll be right back on this Tuesday edition, Day 7. We're into this. And we want to say thank you for being with us as you are watching, listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home?
Oh, heck no. Or that you could get coverage for identity theft through your homeowner's insurance.
And that your valuables can be covered by home insurance even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Phones ringing. Let's go and see. It's a Tom Taylor Sports Show. Who's this?
This is Doug Fritz. How you doing, Tom?
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Appreciate you.
Sorry, I didn't have my phone with me there when you first called.
That's all right. We're live on there. It's not a problem. He's got us, and we've got him. And let's jump in there and talk about it. Tonight we had a quadruple header at Sullivan East and a quadruple header, I think, at Daniel Boone High School, based on your article today in the John City Press. Those games on, or are they off today?
No, they're both. Everything's wiped out again today. Looks like the weather won another battle here. And the single A event, they're going to try again tomorrow. And then the double A event, they're going to wait till try on Thursday. But supposed to get the more snow tomorrow and some terribly cold temperatures. So, you know, it could possibly even be Friday. And that's what the District 2 double A event is looking at, possibly looking at Friday down there in Granger or wherever they're playing that. I think it's at Granger.
So the TSSAA made a ruling, which we read in your article. By the way, I read your articles religiously every time they come out. You do a great job, and I appreciate you personally and professionally. And so the region tournament's been set back with the TSSAA. Tell me what they ruled on.
Well, they just decided that with the widespread weather problems across the state, that they didn't want people trying to rush and cram these district tournaments in on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with the region set for Friday and Saturday. So they just relaxed that, and they moved the region girls quarterfinals to Monday, February 23rd, this coming Monday. Then the boys quarterfinals will be on Tuesday, and both of those will still be at the home site of the top two finishers in each district. And then they're going to go with a four-game night on Wednesday, which previously the TSSAA didn't allow 4 games on a school night like that, but they're going to do that for these unusual circumstances. And so the 4 semifinals will be on Wednesday, and then they'll go with 2 championship games on Thursday at 6 and 7:30, I believe, on Thursday. And then the girls section will be Saturday, and the boys section will be the following Monday.
So, again, we're talking to Doug Fritz, sports writer of the John City Press. So the TSSAA understands there's a problem weather-wise up here in northeast Tennessee, and I guess central Tennessee, too. They got ice there, and so they've made a blanket ruling that everybody has to start on Monday so nobody can get an unfair advantage. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And actually, that was the initial response from Bernard Childress, but then he had sent me another email saying that if certain districts had both finished their districts and wanted to go ahead and start the regionals, that they would consider that. And I haven't checked this, but I talked to one coach, or actually a couple of coaches up there, and it was their belief that only District 1 AAA and District 2 AAA were the only ones that had finished their entire tournament, and they didn't have any plans of going Friday, Saturday under the original regional setting. And you know, it's a setup for the boys they have to deal with for the state tournament anyway, so you might as well get a preview of it now. You get a 10-day layoff and then play 3 nights in a row. So that's might as well get practice. If your eyes on winning the state championship, you might as well prepare for it.
That's a good way to look at it. Again, we're talking to Doug Fritz, the sports writer of the Johnson City Press. So I'm going to ask you to tap into this. We'll start in single A, girls and guys. Who is strong right there? Who do you see looking forward on down the road in the regional? But again, the district tournament's not been decided yet. How do you see those ending up, and how do you see the 1A girls and guys going on down the road into the regional?
Well, both of the 1A championships are South Green and Hampton. On the girls' side, you would definitely consider South Green a big favorite, I guess, if you're just looking at the whole body of work for the whole season. But if you crunch it down a little bit, you see that Hampton went on South Green's home court and beat them 61-45 back in the regular season. I would say the Lady Bulldogs have a good shot at South Green, and South Green also got beaten by Granger. It was a non-conference game late in the season, but they got beaten by 22 points. So, South Green's had some nights where they haven't been that powerhouse team that's been ranked all season. So I still say South Green probably wins that, and they're the favorite coming out of that. And when those teams get into the region, I think, now I don't know this for 100% sure, but I think Cosby is the only main threat coming out of District 2. So, it'll be Hampton, South Green, Cosby probably fighting for two sectional spots out of those three teams when they get to the region. And on the boys' side, Hampton and South Green. South Green beat Hampton twice in the regular season, but I really believe Hampton's the better team. They'll have to prove it, though. And, both of those teams are going to have their hands full in the region with Cosby, as Cosby has one of the best single-A teams in the state. They've been ranked in the top 5 pretty much all season. So pretty much the same things on both sides there, South Green, Hampton, and Cosby when they get to the region. And there could be another team down there in District 2 that I'm not quite as familiar with, but that's what I know as of right now.
Talking to Doug Fritz, sports writer of the Johnson City Press. Again, you're listening and watching the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Be sure and make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, tell you how we're podcasting, and go ahead and tell them how we're podcasting real quick.
Just go ahead and download the Stitcher app to your smartphone, and you can type in the search section there, Tom Taylor Sports Show, and podcast each day's show should be uploaded every night, so you'll be able to download it and listen to it at your leisure. We hope to be on iTunes here shortly, too.
And a thought for the day from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance: doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. That's the thought of the day from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. Doug, Double-A basketball, girls and guys. Of course, the ladies, the defending state champ, the Elizabeth and Lady Cyclones. On the girls' side, the boys' side should be a dandy finish. And how do you see those two winding up? Then what's looming on down the road in the regional for the Double-A guys and girls?
We'll start with the boys, or I guess we'll go ahead and start with the girls. Elizabeth and Sullivan East playing for the District 2 AA championship, and Elizabeth handled East pretty easily both times in regular season. I know East is on their home court, and they'll come out fired up, and that's going to be an interesting start to that game. And if they hang around for a while, that might be an interesting game. East has got some good offensive threats, and they're going to have to be able to defend against Elizabeth, which is tough to do because they've got so many kids that can score. And you would certainly think Elizabeth, and obviously, is the favorite there. And then when those two teams get into the region, along with Happy Valley and Unicoi County, they'll be looking at Granger and Greenville and Chucky Doak. And Granger's obviously the top team down there, and they're playing Chucky Doak for the championship down there. And I would think that Granger would win that, and I would expect Greenville to finish number 3. So, if you're looking at the region, just a quick look at it, I'd say Elizabethton would be the favorite there for the region too at this point. And Granger or Greenville, I respect both those teams, and Chucky Doak would kind of be the dark horse, I guess, along with Sullivan East. And, Happy Valley, although they didn't fare too well against Elizabethton the other night, they still got a strong team. Unicoi's had some good moments this year, too. And on the boys' side, Elizabeth and Sullivan South have played 2 great games. I know you've seen those, and it's just been a battle right down the wire. And the thing I keep telling people about Sullivan South is that they're so methodical and so efficient, and they just do things so well with their game, and they're going to come out there and play their game, and that's what makes them tough to beat. And they also actually have 2 point guards on the team, the way I look at it. They've got Hedrick out there doing the normal point guard stuff, and they got Will Blair, who does a lot of other things, but he's a great passer too. I mean, so they just got some weaponry and some good outside shooters, and I still think that they're the favorite now. I picked Sullivan East before the tournament started, and they didn't pan out. So Sullivan South was the number 2 pick there. So Elizabethton's got a good team too. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And then when you get in the region, Sullivan East kind of figures back into the mix, because that thing could be on their home court as long as they get past the quarterfinals. And Granger and Greenville are the top 2 teams down there, and Granger is a scoring bunch that can put 70 on you, and Greenville's going to go out there and just lock it down and defend you. So it'll be interesting. I'd say that it's probably pretty even. Granger, Greenville, Elizabeth, and South. Throw them in a hat and see who comes out in the region. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
We're talking to Doug Fritz, again, the sports writer of the Johnson City Press. You are listening and watching the Tom Taylor Sports Show every weekday afternoon from 1 to 3. Again, livestream.com, and then just click on or type in Tom Taylor Sports Show, and there you'll find us. And there's other ways we'll tell you about to get to us, but that's pretty much the simplest way. Doug, let's take a look at AAA before I let you go, my friend. And you look at, first off, on the boys' side, Crockett and Tennessee High. When they'll be at home for the opening round regional game, Dobbins, Winter, and Science Hill travels. On the girls' side, you've got, of course, Science Hill wins it under Keith Turner, and Tennessee High will be at home because they finished second in the district. Traveling will be Dobbins, Winter, and Crockett. How do you see those shaping up in the regional? And they'll start those on Monday. How do you see our local teams faring as we move on to regional play?
Well, I think that Science Hill's girls, they've proven themselves night in, night out against the level of competition they got to play at, with the exception of Morristown West. So Morristown West would be the favorite there on the girls' side, and I think Science Hill has a really good shot of getting into that sectional game and getting to the finals. I know Jeff County's got a good team down that way. I think Morristown East is pretty good, and Tennessee High, they've had their moments this year. They could factor into that mix too. But I still think Science Hill and Morristown West will be your favorites on the girls' side. And on the boys' side, David Crockett, they started great, and then they went through a little bit of a lull, and now they're finishing strong here. So you got a lot of Crockett going in there, but Jefferson County beat them in the Arby's Classic earlier this year. So you got to give the nod to Jeff to be the favorite in that thing. But and I tell you, Jefferson County's a favorite, Crockett's number 2. But Dobbins Bennett, the team I thought would easily win the district, I think they kind of stubbed their toe, more so of a mental stubbing of their toe, and I think that they're still the team to be reckoned with. They beat Jeff County towards the end of the regular season there, so I think any one of those 3 should have a shot. I think Tennessee High is kind of a dark horse, and Science Hill's a long shot.
And there you go. Of course, Jeff County this week in the final boys poll, AAA, number 6 in the state. Crockett in at number 10. So those two will probably fare into this thing before it's all said and done on the boys' side. For the ladies this week, again, none of our teams are in the top 10 in girls AAA basketball. But, again, I've seen Morristown West. I called their game, and they can play. And, of course, Jefferson County's got a good girls team as well. Doug, if you had to do a long shot, I'll just put you on the spot. Which or any of these teams you feel like when it's all said and done will be in the state tournament in Murfreesboro with a chance to win a state championship?
Well, let's see. Going down through there, I won't count Crockett out. I won't count Dobbins Bennett out. I know that there's a roadblock to get down through Knoxville with Oak Ridge sitting down there, and some other teams, Bearden and so forth. But I'd say those 2, Crockett and DB, if you throw Jefferson County in, they're not really truly in our area. Any of those 3 have got a chance. And in AA, anybody that doesn't have to travel to Fulton's going to have a chance in that sectional game. So if you win the region up here, if that's Elizabeth and South, Greenville, whoever, they're going to have a chance. Single A, Hampton's going to have a chance. So that's pretty much it, I think, on the boys' side. And then on the girls' side, Science Hill's got a chance on the girls' side. Elizabethton, we don't know if there's a second team with them or not, as far as our area goes. And then single A, South Green and Hampton. So those are the ones just right off the top of my head. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody there, but those are the ones I feel like have the best chances. Not the only chances, but the best chances.
There you go. And, of course, as you said earlier, tonight's games have been scrapped again due to the weather, so no basketball tonight for the AA tournament at Sullivan East or the single A tournament at Bobby Snyder Gym at Daniel Boone. Doug, great report. Going to have you on a regular basis. You're doing a fantastic job both on the radio and, in this case, on the net, and also what you write each and every time you write for the Johnson City Press. So thank you, my friend. Stay warm, and I'll talk to you next week, all right?
All right, thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Good man right there. Doug Fritz, the sports writer of the Johnson City Press. And so, again, the games tonight have been scrapped one more time for the weather. And as you heard him say, more winter weather due in here tomorrow and some very, very cold temperatures in here later on in the week. So they may not be playing till the weekend. But as he said, once they do, made a good point. You know, to win the state tournament, you got to play 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. You got to play 3 games in 3 or 4 days, depending on which class you're in. So this will be – some of the coaches have been reading, well, it's going to be very tough on us. But Doug made a good point. To win it, that's how you're going to do it down in Murfreesboro, so might as well get used to it.
And everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, a lot of these boys play summer ball too, and they'll play 2 games in a day a lot of times. So, I mean, it's not like they're not used to it. They just got to prepare themselves for it.
Well put. Good point. Couple of signings, local kids. Want to give a shout-out to them. A couple of youngsters are moving on to play football next year from Tennessee High. Christian Gibson, a free safety, going to be playing football at East Tennessee State with Dillon, Weigger, and all the other recruits. So Christian Gibson, an outstanding player, going from Tennessee High to play football at East Tennessee State. Also, Jacob Jasper, he was at Sullivan North, transferred to Tennessee High to finish his career there. He is going to be playing for the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats in Buchanan, West Virginia. So there you go.
Be a Bobcat.
They're going to be a Bobcat. Now, there is I guess I can tell this story. There is this is the time the otter got loose and chased me.
Just picturing you getting chased by an otter is all I need to know.
Grade school kid about this big, looked like a pipe cleaner with a head on top of me, a little bony thing. And so I'm out there, and we're at the French Creek Game Farm, and right outside of Buchanan, West Virginia, stop on the way. My parents and, of course, all 4 boys. And so we jump out to go to the French Creek Game Farm. I don't know what you paid. It wasn't very much. You probably had – back then we thought it was like Dollywood, but I guess probably in reality it's probably 4 or 5 cages of animals. And it was a chance for my father to just turn us loose. We were halfway going on a long road trip to my grandparents. So anyway, we go to the otter pen, and the otter thing has slid down, slides down, hits the water, and, of course, it's – fenced in, almost like at Bays Mountain Park. You can see the otter. Well, next thing I know, I watched it for a few minutes. I'm walking away. One of the brothers said, "Tom, the otter's got you. The otter's chasing you." And I turned around and thought, yeah, right. Look around. Here comes a little otter wiggling right at me. Of course, me being in grade school, willowy to be about that big around to begin with, I take off in a dead sprint for the car, screaming. And this little otter, and he probably was – I don't know, 5, 10 feet behind
otters
me.
are playful.
So I'm running for dear life, and I go and I jump across the hood of the car. And I remember my father turning around and go, "What the?" He sees me, and I go spreading across the hood of the car, trying to avoid this otter.
Otter.
This little otter's running towards me, and
he liked you, Tom.
And my brothers, even to this day, wear me out over that deal. So every time I think of Buchanan, West Virginia, I think of the day I got chased by an otter.
I'm going to start calling you Ott.
At the French Creek Game Farm in Buchanan,
Otter
West
Taylor.
Virginia.
Otter Taylor.
There you go. So, anyway, Jacob Jasper is going to go from Tennessee High to West Virginia Wesleyan. By the way, it's still open, French Creek Game Farm.
Yeah.
Which brings me to one more thing about West Virginia before we go to Jimmy Johnson. Now, people laugh, and I'm going to let you research this between now and tomorrow. There's a school in West Virginia named POCA, which you would pronounce it.
POCA?
Yeah.
Polka.
What do you think the nickname is?
Dots.
There you go. People laugh at me, but
the polka dots.
The polka dots. True story.
Lord.
You pull into the campus, and up on the side of the field house, this big red dot says "Home of the Dots."
Fighting Eagles are going to go play the polka dots.
And that was a big rivalry when I went in high school. When I went to high school, it was a big rivalry. It was like DB, Science Hill, South Elizabeth. It was an intense rivalry. Tennessee High, Virginia High. It was us against the polka dots. So
polka dots.
So you're the first ones never. It can't be true. You're the first ones never.
I believe anything from West Virginia.
All right.
Bada bing, bada boom.
There you go. So anyway, polka dots and the French Creek Game Farm. At the time the otter chased me across the parking lot, and I don't know why. I don't know what point did he stop, because I never did turn around, but he obviously didn't come all the way across the car to get me. So at some point he stopped, and either somebody came and picked him up, or I don't even know how he got out of the pen, but
One of your brothers probably picked him up and put him out and said, "Go get him."
Sick him. Sick the big sissy.
He'll play with you.
I got called nanny a lot on that ride back home. You big nanny. So, anyway, let's check in with Jimmy Johnson at Daytona. Again, our show winding down here again on this Tuesday, Feb 17. Again, you can tell us you like us. I hope you do. Make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Tom Taylor Sports Show. Here's Jimmy Johnson again, fourth in the career in the front row start this Sunday at Daytona. Fourth on the front row sweep for Hendrick Motorsports. And here's a comment posed to him again from the number 48 Lowe's driver, Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're being joined now by our second place starter in next Sunday's 57th annual Daytona 500, Jimmy Johnson, driver the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. This is Jimmy's fourth career front row starting spot for the Daytona 500. And obviously he'll be starting up front alongside Hendrick Motorsports teammate Jeff Gordon. This is the fourth front row sweep for Hendrick Motorsports in the Daytona 500 as well. The other three were 2011, 2010, and 1989. So, Jimmy, congratulations on a front row starting spot. Just tell us maybe how important it is to share that front row with your teammate and know that you're locked in for next week already.
Yeah, it's nice to be locked in on Thursday with the duels. You don't have to take any big risks or chances. So it's nice to know that we've got a great starting spot for the 500. So we'll enjoy the week, and more so on an emotional level. This sends a big thank you back to all of our folks at Hendrick Motorsports and all the different shops and departments. They've been working so hard to get our cars ready for the season and to get a front row sweep in all four Hendrick cars in that final qualifying session, I think says a lot. And the only way the drivers can really thank everybody for their hard work is to go out there and stand on it. And we did that today and did a nice job working the qualifying sessions as we needed to advance and knock down that front row.
We'll open up for questions. We'll go to Tom, and then we'll come to Reed. Tom Jensen behind you.
Hey, Jimmy, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. 4 Hendrick Chevys and 4 Gibbs Toyotas in the top 8. Is that who it's going to be on Sunday?
It's so hard to predict. I mean, we saw last night with all the chaos. I feel like amongst those 8 cars, you have 8 really good drivers with the draft. And I think our 8 cars over the last few years maybe have been just a little step ahead of the competition. So traditional thinking, yes, and we just don't have a clue. And I think last night's the best evidence to support that. Although one of those 8 did win that race. So
go to Reed, then Kenny, then Mike.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. When you realized that you'd gotten the last position there on the, coming off pit road, did you think you were in the catbird seat at that point? And conversely, did you think you might have waited too long?
Man, we had some cues in timing marks what we thought we needed to leave pit road at. And that time came and went. And I really felt like no one was going to get back in time. And I would be on pole position, 11 would be next to us. And then as we were making the lap, we got up to speed and through the gears and covered so much territory that as they're giving me my cues, I'm like, I think most are going to make it. Now I'm in a position where I'm not going to make it. But we just kind of we knew what the risks were, and in order to get the pole, you've got to take a big chance, and that can be front row or 12th. But 12th at a plate track isn't the end of the world. So we were willing to take that risk and to try to gamble to be there. And we made it back around far faster than we thought we could. Because I thought I was out. I thought I was going to miss the cutoff on the time. But if everybody waited long enough, it was very easy for me to wait the majority of that time because I thought they were going to run the clock down and no one was going to get a timed lap. So at one point I'm sitting there thinking, sweet, let's just all wait each other out. I'm going to end up with a pole and no third attempt, or third session.
Jimmy Johnson, again, 2-time winner. Again, he'll be on the front row on Sunday beside teammate Jeff Gordon. Front row sweep for Hendrick Motorsports, 4th time. And, again, he'll be his 4th career front row start. Of course, he's won the event twice in 2006 and 2013. In fact, here's some stats for your horse to wow you from the stats department. The last 3 winners of the Daytona 500 have been 2-time winners. Junior won it last year, won it in 2004. JJ won it in 13 and 2006. Matt Kenseth, the one who won the Sprint Unlimited race on Saturday night, he won it in 2012. Excuse me, won it also in 2009. So a couple of 2-time winners will be lining things up again for the race on Sunday. In fact, in the field you have, of course, Gordon, Junior, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Rocket Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth, Jamie McMurray, and Trevor Bayne. What is that?
9. 8.
Let's see. That's 8.
Yeah.
I don't know why to do this finger. So 8 winners. 8 winners. Previous winners will be in the field coming up. And I'm looking down through here. Michael Waltrip, too, will be 9. Michael Waltrip will be in the field, theoretically, if qualifying goes the way he wants. So 9 guys will be out there trying to knock it down and win the coveted Great American Race, the Daytona 500. One of the races everybody says they got to have on their mantle when the season of their career is over. The other one of the races they always say they want to win is the Urban Tools Night Race at Bristol. And also rapidly going up the old must-have list is the spring race, the Food City 500. And that I keep hearing from the drivers because the sponsorship's been there so long. You know, a lot of these races, they change year in, year out, the sponsors. Here's something, the Food City 500, the second longest sponsorship in NASCAR with Steve Smith and Food City. So it's become synonymous with success at Bristol to bring home a Food City 500 trophy. So the spring race is getting a lot of pub, and it should. It's a great race, and so it'll be coming up on April the 19th. Again, those tickets, BristolTix.com, or call 423-BRISTOL. Again, 5 days of racing, 3 in April and 2 in August for $149. Plus, you get yourself an access to get those Battle of Bristol football tickets. Mrs. V, think you guys are going to be up there to watch Tennessee. She's a huge Tennessee fan. You guys went to Jacksonville, right, to the bowl?
Oh, man, awesome. Awesome bowl game.
TaxSlayer.com. And I'll just go on record and say I asked for some kind of a souvenir of anything to say TaxSlayerBowl.com, and
there wasn't any.
No.
I was very disappointed in that because there was not a whole lot of there was a couple little small stands, but as far as what I thought there would be, where you can go in there and get nice T-shirts and hats and with your team's logo on them and magnets and that sort of thing, no, there's nothing.
Really?
Oh, no.
So you just didn't ice me out. You just didn't want anything to bring back.
Well, at least I didn't see it when I was there. I couldn't find anything.
Right. Like we were told last week, Greg will be joining us tomorrow at the Reds Report. When you guys went to Great American Ballpark, you had foods and treats. Did you have treats at the Tax Slayer football game? What did you have down there?
I ate. Now, I will say this. Again, we got what we needed and went in and sat down.
Right.
Because the food, the concession stands line was almost 45 minutes long.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I could not believe how long the line was to get it to wind around to get to the front of the line to get your food.
So what might a Tennessee football fan throw down at the TaxSlayer.com football bowl
the only thing we had was popcorn when they brought it to us up through the stands, and I think it was a frozen lemonade. Because nobody was standing in front of the frozen lemonade.
Still have the bowl from last year when he went to the Cincinnati Reds batting helmet. He went and got that full of jalapenos and nachos and cheese and threw this thing down. Before or after 2 Polish sausages?
It was after.
After, yeah. So there you go.
Now, you got to keep in mind, it was over a 4-hour period. So.
I know that.
Didn't all go at one time.
Oh, giving him a hard time. Hey, that's going to wrap it up for today. We've had a great show. We thank you for being with us. We want to say thanks to our guest, Dillon Weigger, young man from Sullivan South, going on to play football at East Tennessee State. He joined us today. Also, we had, of course, Richard Issacs from Vito's on Main Street. If you want some real Italian food, Vito's is the place to go, whether it's pizza, whether it's baked ziti, baked spaghetti. Whoo, Tom back in the kitchen, come flat, bring it to the table, and it is awesome. Go take Horace over there this week, or maybe this weekend, and treat him to Vito's. Thank, again, Richard for that. He was the sponsor of the quiz show today. We played for Phil Hensley and didn't win. Tomorrow, Tommy Wyman will be calling, and the Apesters got Elvis questions, and so we'll see how that goes tomorrow on the quiz show right around 1:30. Also want to say thanks to Doug Fritz and the Johnson City Press, who had a great report on the high school basketball scene again tonight. The AA games at Sullivan East and the single A games at Daniel Boone are wiped out because of the weather. We'll try them again tomorrow. And, of course, from Daytona, you heard from Tony Stewart. Chase Elliott, and Jimmy Johnson. Tomorrow we'll have Steve O'Donnell in, again, talking about the knockout format. And, of course, more going on tomorrow at the track. Spring Cup practice tomorrow at 2 and 3:15. Again, at noon on Thursday before they get ready for the Budweiser Duels. The 60-lap, 150-mile races of 1 and 2 will help set the rest of the field, or will set the rest of the field for the Daytona 500 on Sunday. On that front row, of course, Jeff Gordon and his teammate Jimmy Johnson. So any parting thoughts tonight, Kentucky, Tennessee? What do you think?
It's going to be all Kentucky, and Mrs. V sent you another text, said Tom Otter no. Better than to tell that story.
Oh.
Bada bing, bada boom. There we go.
The chasing otter chased me to the car at the French Creek Game Farm in Buchanan, West Virginia. I don't guess she should have. That'll be something I should.
You're doomed, big guy.
Oh, Wyman sent me something, too, a while ago, too. So we appreciate you very much. Again, our thought for the day, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And, again, I want to say thanks for you giving us a listen. Try to get tomorrow. One more time, make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Tom Taylor Sports Show. Podcasting, how do we find that?
Download Stitcher for an app for your smartphone, or go to shoutengine.com on your PC, and you can download the podcasts. We're going to hope to have every daily show up there by the end of the day, say by 6, 7 o'clock. You can listen to them at your leisure.
There you go. I want to say thanks to Captain Drew, our third member of this team, and doing a yeoman's job getting this thing rolling. So thanks to Captain Drew and, of course, to Horace. And for those two, this is Tom Taylor signing this thing off. Back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Hope you'll join us. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors to give us a listen as you're watching the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, Bracken Asphalt Maintenance and Paving, Cherokee Barbershop, Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport, American Import and Auto Repair. Again, for the gang, I will tell you, as always, win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody.